Hi everyone, this is Miss Munira from Tekka again, and this week I am going to be doing a read aloud with all of you, and the name of the book that we're going to be reading today is called The Cool Bean. So we're going to take a deep dive and see what is going on with this little guy here in his school, Beanside Elementary. So let's get started. The Cool Bean by Jory John and Pete Oswald. The Cool Bean. Watch out! Here come the cool beans. The cool beans. Oh yeah, check out how they move. Look at the way they swagger. Notice their glasses. Yow! The cool beans are known all over school, from house to house, across town, beyond county lines. In the olden days, last year, we were all one big pod of beans. We were a mixed bag, but somehow it worked. Yep, those were the good old days. And then we stopped seeing each other as much. That's just how it is sometimes. You spend less time together, even though you're not totally sure why. Right, so this is their picture last year. And this right here is the little guy hiding in the back. How do you think that makes them feel? I watched as the beans I knew so well, the beans from my own pod, became the cool beans. They were so cool. One of them could play the guitar. Cool. One of them could draw the best superheroes. Cool. One of them could jump higher than any bean I'd ever known. Cool. See them doing their activities right here? It's kind of like when you get to go to PE and music and art, right? Me? Well, I mostly stayed the same. Sure, I made some small changes. I wore sunglasses. Too big. I slicked my hair back. Too slick. I strutted around. Ow. I swaggered. Oof. I was still picked last for everything. My clothes never seemed to fit. I snorted when I laughed. I walked into stuff. I was an uncool bean for sure. I started thinking of myself as just a common bean with no special skills. I couldn't compete, so I didn't even try. I'd never be a cool bean. Have you ever felt the way that this guy's feeling? Maybe at home or at school too? It seemed like there were two types of beans in the world. There were the cool beans and the beans like me. The days all blended together. I lived my life and things were just okay. I took tests and ate lunches and mostly kept to myself. The cool beans continued being cool. I mean, sure, I missed them a bit, but it's not like I was going to say anything. I felt like all that coolness had gotten in the way of our friendship, and that's how it went. Until one day, what do we think is going to happen? Let's find out. I was in the cafeteria. I dropped my lunch on my loafers again. But then something sort of miraculous happened. Out of nowhere, one of the cool beans helped me clean it up. He didn't even say anything. He just gave me a nod. That was it. Later, I was out on the playground. I tripped and scraped my knee and maybe cried even a little bit, and everyone saw it. Another one of the cool beans came to my side, and without a word, he dusted me off. Looks like he dusted him off and even gave him a Band-Aid. That's pretty kind, isn't it? That afternoon, I was sitting in class. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't notice, but our teacher had called on me. Everybody stared. I sat there in silence. Nobody said anything. And then everybody just laughed at me. That was it. After today, I was officially a has-been. But then, all of a sudden, one of the cool beans stood up and came over to me. Everybody watched. She leaned in close and whispered, "Hey, the teacher asked you to read from page 32. Then she gave me a quick wink and went back to her seat. It was a small gesture, sure, but it was also everything. How do you think that made the bean feel? He seems pretty excited. I walked home with a goofy smile on my face. I smiled all the way through dinner. That day made all the difference. It was a day that could have been really bad, if not for the kindness of a few cool beans. It gave me a shred of confidence. That shred of confidence has continued to grow. Somebody had my back, or a few somebodies. So, do we recognize who these guys are? The cool beans. After that, I started hanging out with the cool beans again. How have you been? Get it? Bean. Not all the time, but sometimes. At lunch, after school, even on the weekends. Where do you think they are over here? Throughout all of this, I realized that it's not about how you look or any of that other silly stuff. It's about a wink or a nod or a smile at just the right moment. It's about dusting somebody off, helping them up again, and pointing them in the right direction. Do we notice how the bean is helping someone else now? Very kind. Now, that is cool. The end. So, what do we think of that book? This book is one of my favorites because it reminds me that there is so much going on every day when I'm in school with you or even just at home that it's still important to be kind to my friends, my family, and even nature. So, I made a bean today. You can see there's a nice little tiny face on there. And I'm going to take my bean and I'm going to do something that is also kind today. And I hope all of you will join me in doing something kind, either for your family, or which means maybe making a phone call to somebody, or even being kind to nature. So I'm going to be kind to nature today with my bean, and I'm going to actually go and water the plants outside. So if you're going to do anything kind, I would love to hear it. If you want to share, you can even make a bean and take your bean with you to reflect. So you have your bean buddy with you, And it was nice to have all of you join me today. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful sunny rest of the day. Okay, bye.